Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Cheap Comic Collector Presents. On this show, I present once a week a some kind of media-related comic book item. And we started out with the 1943 Batman serial, which has 15 chapters. We are up to episode 10 this week. And not sure what we'll do after Batman. Could be just about anything. I'm leaning towards doing maybe a few radio shows, just to get those out there. But we'll see where we end up. Today, before we get into the serial chapter 10, I wanted to talk about a couple things about this serial. One is the fact that Batman's isn't a vigilante in this story. He's a government agent. And from what I've read, the reasoning behind that is that the censors at the time didn't want to promote anybody going out and being a vigilante during World War II, especially with the hatred of the Japanese and so on and so forth. So that may be a little bit to their credit. But in this serial, Batman is presented as a secret government agent. And then the second thing I wanted to address is the Batmobile, because the one of the biggest glaring omissions in this is that there is no Batmobile. There's just a car. and apparently I haven't paid enough attention to the vehicle throughout the serial to know if it's true or not. I know one article I read said that the difference is that whether the top is up or down is the difference between when Batman's using it and when Bruce Wayne is using it. I haven't noticed if that's so or not. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Batmobile today, because I'm pretty much running out of things to talk about the serial. The Batmobile actually first showed up in Detective Comics 27, which of course was also the first appearance of Batman. Supposedly, this was the first appearance of the Batmobile. In my opinion, it is not, but Wikipedia will tell you that it is. Other places will tell you that it is. But what actually happens is that this is what they consider the Batmobile in that story. This is taken directly from Detective Comics 27. And in this first panel, earlier in the story, Commissioner Gordon, or at least the commissioner, and Bruce Wayne are in Bruce Wayne's car. And then later, the Batman's driving the same car. And so they're saying that's the Batmobile. To me, it's just a car. There's nothing Batmobile about it. It's just a roadster. But it's interesting to note that in the serial, where he just uses a car and it's the same car, that this story is actually a precedent for that, because he's doing the same thing here. So as much fun as you want to make about the car he's using in the serial, he did the same thing in the very first Batman story. So I found that interesting when I discovered that. In Detective Comics number 48, we have the first mention of a car called a Batmobile, and that would be here. Now in this page there, it's still just a red roadster, not anything particularly bat-like about it. It is interesting to note it's still being kept in the old barn on the Wayne estate, and that there's nothing automatic happening. Robin has to actually open the barn doors there for them to get the car out. So, but that was the first mention of the name Batmobile. It's mentioned in the narration of that last panel. And then to me, the first appearance of an actual Batmobile is in this issue, Batman #5 from 1941. This is the first appearance of the iconic Golden Age Batmobile with the big bat hood ornament and the tail fin from that story. And then in 1944, the Batmobile made its first cover appearance, bursting out of this cover, which is pretty cool. And a lot of what I've read said that, the reason they didn't do a Batmobile for the serial is that it's just because of the budget. But honestly, how much would it have cost to just put a big, paper mache Batman head on the front of a car? It's so I'm not sure about that. I think the Batmobile perhaps just wasn't that big of a deal back then yet. Or perhaps that's not the era of issues they were reading for their inspiration for the serial. Maybe they weren't even aware that there was a Batmobile. This would have came out in 1944. The first Bat-themed one was in 1941, so that's a couple of years before the serial came out. So you'd think they would have known about it, especially since Bob Kane was obviously involved in the production. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much brings us up to date as far as the serial concerns. Obviously there were many incarnations of the Batmobile over the years. They got the one from the Adam West TV show. And of course, every movie had to have a new one because of the toy licenses and things like that. And speaking of toys, perhaps the most cringeworthy version of the Batmobile are from the animated cartoon Bat Wheels, where all the vehicles in the Batman universe are sentient. You got the Batmobile up there up front. You got Robin's Redbird back there, and Batgirl's cycle, and so forth. Obviously, inspired, at least look wise, by the Cars franchise from Pixar and Disney. Kind of surprised they got away with this, that Disney didn't sue the heck out of them. But that's probably a story for another time, which I don't have any details on. So, obviously there's been talking cars in cartoons since at least the 1940s. So yeah, that's nothing new, but this, those drawings right there, that looks so much like those exact same drawings from the Cars line, that it's an obvious rip off of that style, if nothing else. But anyway, that pretty much takes us through the history of the Batmobile up to that point of the serial. And of course, over the years, the Batman has had its own mythos a little bit, the Batmobile, where, it was designed by a Hollywood stuntman and things like that. And different things have changed throughout its history. But anyway, there's no really Batmobile to be seen in this serial. Other things that we don't really see. There's no use of the utility belt. There's no I did find it interesting watching this chapter coming up, and I've noticed it in their previous ones about them crawling in and out of the grandfather clock. I found it interesting that they actually made the actors do that instead of just putting the clock on a swivel or something so that they can just go through a hole behind it, because the actors obviously have struggling to get through the actual grandfather clock they're using as the entrance to the Batcave. So, but anyway, here we go. Chapter 10, of the 1943 Batman serial. This is Flying Spies, it's called. Enjoy.
When Docker's men search for gang recruits, Batman assumes a new disguise. The spies are suspicious, however, and capture him until Robin takes a hand.
The Batman's outside. Let's get him. Over there. Over here. The Batman. Hey! Stand clear! I'm gonna drop that gangplank on him. Right to the house, Alfred.
May I help you off your costume, sir?
No, thanks. The Batman and Robin still have work to do. Now, let's turn Marshall over to the police. He's no good to us anymore.
And don't forget to call Captain Arnold and tell him he can pick up Fletcher at the Sphinx Club.
I don't think he'd find Fletcher there.
But don't you want the rest of those hoodlums apprehended, sir?
Not yet. We may discover the leader of the gang through them.
I'm not going to talk, so you might just as well let me out of here.
Sure, Marshal. That's just what we're going to do.
Just another package from the Batman. Let's get him inside to the captain.
Fletcher, how dare you come here? Are you trying to lead the police to this place?
I couldn't stay at Bernie's place. The Batman suddenly appeared.
You told me yourself he was buried under tons of rock at Colton's mine.
I thought he was. He must have escaped somehow.
Escaped as usual. And now you let them discover our connection with the Sphinx Club, making it worthless to us.
That knowledge won't do him any good. I personally killed him on the wharf outside the club.
I do not appreciate your sense of humor. I wonder if there's more than one Batman. All members of the same organization. Section 1.
Section 50 reporting.
Proceed.
Friends of the League of the New Order obtained a supply of radium, which will reach here shortly.
Excellent.
We will report later when and where you can receive it.
Very good. This supply of radium will enable us to complete the atom disintegrator and start our work of destruction. You may remain here for the present.
Thanks.
We are only protecting ourselves, not you. A pity Marshall was killed in that mine disaster instead of you.
Telegram, sir.
Thank you. Well, it's a code message from Washington. I think that's Miss Page Alfred. She phoned she was coming over.
Yes, sir.
Take it in the lab, Dick, and start decoding it. I'll join you shortly. Hello, Linda. Well, it's good to see you. Won't you sit down? Have some coffee? I'll have Alfred bring you a cup.
No, thank you.
What's wrong?
Why didn't you keep your date with me last night?
Well, I took Dick to the amusement park, and we had such fun, we lost all track of time.
Did you two go all by yourselves?
Why do you ask?
I thought perhaps you might have taken your friend, Chuck White.
Now, what have you got against poor Chuck?
Oh, I just don't like his face. I don't understand why you associate with such people.
Well, I admit he isn't much to look at, but I found him a very good friend.
Well, if you like him so well, why don't you take him to lunch today in my place?
But, Linda...
Large amount of radio from Chicago. Suspect connection with radium thieves in your territory. Exercise extreme vigilance. Signed Flanagan, Midwest Division.
I think Flanagan's hunch is right.
This looks like a job for the Batman.
No. Chuck White can handle this much better. Come upstairs while I change.
There are some things I wish to discuss with you two gentlemen. Section 1.
Section 50 reporting.
Proceed.
Messenger carrying the radium is aboard plane arriving at 9:20 tonight.
Any further details?
We have information that the police are searching baggage of all passengers. Therefore, suggest that you use Plan 18.
Have messenger aboard plane notified to this effect.
I'll attend to it at once.
Very good. Preston arranged to have everyone meet me here tonight at 7. I wish to explain in detail the Plan 18 to all of you.
All right, sir.
Wallace, I'm still waiting to meet the new members you lined up for the League.
I have several prospects lined up now.
Then bring them to our Bell Street house so I can look them over
Very
and
well.
judge their fitness.
This message just came over the radio for you, Mr. Lawson.
Oh, thank you.
You know what to do. You're here again.
Look, Bud, maybe I did get a little out of hand last night, but I heard someone yell Batman, so I took it on the lam. Let me talk to Fletcher, will you?
Fletcher ain't here, but maybe you can tell me why you pulled that gun on him last
Oh, I thought
night.
it was a stick-up when he started to frisk me.
Well, Fletcher may be here after a while, so if you want to wait, sit over there.
Anybody around?
Not yet, but there's a guy over there waiting for Fletcher.
I'm a friend of Mr. Fletcher's. I understand you're looking for him.
Glad to meet you, mister. Sit down.
What is it you want of Fletcher?
Well, I thought maybe he needs a bodyguard or something. Of course, I'm open for any kind of odd job.
Yeah? I don't think he'll be here today, but I might use a man of your caliber.
I didn't catch the name, mister.
We'll skip it for now. If you want the job, come on.
What can I lose?
Hey, where are you going?
To get the car. It's just down the street.
Nothing doing. You don't trust me with your name, I don't trust your car. We'll go on a hack or not at all. Hey, taxi.
I like your nerve.
I ain't nosy. I don't care where you're going. You can whisper the address to the driver.
Bell Street, corner of Hill Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Keep the change.
Thank you, sir.
Come on in, make yourself at home. I'll be right back.
That's okay. I got no place to go.
What do you think of him?
Oh, he looks like a cheap gangster, but try him out. Take him with you on tonight's assignment. Watch him closely.
Okay. Plane ought to be here shortly. When I light this flare, our messenger will drop the package which is attached to a parachute. Now scatter out so one of you will be sure and get it.
We'll cover this side, Preston.
You come over here with us, Chuck.
Chuck, you better watch from about here.
Okay.
I'll drop back a little ways. Bert, you go on ahead. I thought I'd better keep an eye on you.
Better tell Preston.
I think it's over there. What's the matter?
Chuck White, he got away.
Why didn't you stop him?
We tried it when he put up a fight.
All right, all right. Get the package first. We'll settle with White or whoever he is later. Mr. Plane, get out there.
There she comes.
Well, watch for the chute.
Time for Batman and Robin to take over.
Here she comes.
Oh, Batman! Something wrong down at the cars.
The man at the wheel of that truck is a killer, and he's out to get the passenger. Will he succeed? Don't fail to see A Nipponese Trap, Chapter 11 of Batman, at this theater next week.